It's fantastic, as usual, to be back in India. In fact, it is exactly a year ago I was here, and obviously AI was in the air then, and AI is really is in the air now. In terms of rate of diffusion, quite frankly, I've not seen anything like this. When I've thought about, I've been coming to India through all the 4 big platform shifts I've been part of as part of Microsoft, whether it is the PCs and client server. Subsequently, it was the web and the internet, and then, of course, mobile and cloud. But this is the first time I feel what's happening in India and what's happening in the rest of the world. There is no impedance. There is no gap. If anything, the use cases here that I'll talk a lot about are so unique and are paving their own path, and that's what's exciting. We're not just talking about AI, we're scaling AI, and it's a fantastic time to be both doing and learning from each other. A lot of people talk about their AI projects. The first thing is you got to get your data house in order to be able to get the best value out. And that's why you see the adoption cycles even in India. Even though the cloud adoption in India was a lot slower than what happened in the rest of the world, but the fact that it has happened is what's helping anyone today take AI without any of that diffusion impedance or delay, if you will, because you're already in the cloud, your data is already in the cloud, and you're able to rapidly turn it around and adopt something like a new reasoning engine on top of that same data. Lots of interesting customer use cases here, and I think Puneet had many of these examples, and I had a chance this morning to visit with a few of these folks and really learn about how they are going about building things, and they're really inspirational, right? Take Air India. What Chandra was telling me is how he's really instructed the team there to accelerate everything that they're doing, right? Essentially, from lack of he was telling me, they're just putting in all of the systems that had like a lot of deficit, but rapidly getting into place where they're leading, in fact, going from not having systems to leading with some of those experiences. So the thing that they built, for example, was an agent, an AI agent for the customer. It's one of the leading products out there. So if you go to the Air India homepage on the web, you can speak to this AI agent, complete your entire transaction and travel planning, and they have like high ambition on it. And they have on the back end of it as well, they're also creating a bunch of agents to streamline the business process, not just on the front end to the consumers. I had a chance to meet with the ITC team that they're building this essentially a bot for the farmers to be able to then get all the knowledge they need, because in some sense, in a vernacular language, to be able to access all of the information and to be able to even take action, right? This is the other very interesting interesting dimension to this, which is it reduces the expertise required to use computing and the knowledge that is accessible, right? So that is why I think in India, the most exciting thing is for the quality of all Indian output to go up, because it sort of helps reduce the barrier. I think that that's going to probably be an example in farming. Arvind, this is a fascinating use case. So they obviously have been in business for 100+ years, and here they are using AI to, for example, for their legal department to say, let's make sense of contracts faster, let's understand risk, and what have you. Very obvious use case. After all, any lawyer or anyone in the legal department who spent a lot of time trying to assess risk on any given contract, the easiest use case is to just be able to use Gen AI to make sense of it. But the interesting thing is for their commercial teams, to effectively summon the legal expertise, right at the point when the contract or the RFP is even being issued. That's the real transformation. The real transformation is when the expertise silos are broken, right? So you don't have to wait for finance to, at the end of the quarter, tell you all the mistakes you made, or for legal to tell you all the risks you took without knowing, right? So it's the ability to bridge that expertise gap just in time. That's why I kind of think of this as lean for knowledge work. That's what they're doing. And then the last example was very inspirational. Like last time I was here, I saw the demo of Jugalbandi And I spoke about it many, many times because it was just a drop, it's like drop the mic moment for me to see how this digital public good in Bashani combined with Jugalbandi was being used to transform lives of people in rural India, speaking in vernacular languages, and being able to not only get access to information and knowledge, but to take action, right? Talk about human agency in the age of AI being enhanced. That was an example. And now the team has even built a fantastic thing called Jugalbandi Studio, which is a no-code, low-code tool for people to be able to build these bots and make them available to all of the social entrepreneurs, the nonprofits who are doing things. And so I had a chance to meet the folks from one of the nonprofits or social enterprise called Agami, and they built a thing for migrant laborers coming in and for them to be able to access this information. It's called Bandhu. So therefore, somebody who comes in from, say, rural Andhra Pradesh into Bangalore is the example they showed, and instead of speaking in Telugu, perhaps getting access to information on how they can get housing, how should they go about getting the right terms, all of the things. Then think about the sort of, reducing the, I would say, the stress of being able to get to services when you come into a new place across across India is fantastic to watch. The empowerment it gives to the end citizen here, but also the empowerment to all of the social enterprises to be able to use something like this to make a real difference is fantastic to watch. So those are some of the ability for you all to build your own AI applications has never been easier, and I see it at scale in India. I want to wrap up where I started. Our mission at the end of the day is to empower every person and every organization in India to be able to achieve more in this age of AI. And in that context, I'm very excited today to even announce a new initiative around skilling. We are going to equip 2 million plus people in India with AI skills. We think that obviously at the end of the day, really taking the workforce and making sure that they have the skills in order to be able to thrive in this new age is the most important thing that any of us can be doing, and we are happy to play our role in it. But it's not just the skills, but it's even the jobs that get created. And in this context, I was very inspired when I had a chance to meet with the folks behind Karya. In fact, it was the founder of Karya was telling me about how a lot of the research that was the foundation of it came from Microsoft India, Microsoft Research in India. It's fantastic that it's now translated into this thriving organization that is taking essentially what is AI tasks of labeling and bringing those jobs, very well-paying jobs, to rural India and being able to really create economic opportunity that is pretty unique. And it's fantastic to see not only people who are software developers participating, which we know GitHub, for example, in India has more AI engineers, or the AI engineering community is second to the United States in India. But to even see that in rural India, people are participating in the AI economy thanks to the work of organizations like Karya is fantastic to see. And so I think we'll roll the video and you'll get a chance to meet some of the folks who are part of this.
India has 22 official languages, and Marathi is actually a language that is spoken by millions and millions of people. But unfortunately, many Indian languages are under-resourced.
We cannot let language be the thing that does not allow you to use technology.
AI is a transformative technology. People deserve to have access to these amazing technologies in their language. Karya exists to accelerate social mobility in rural India by building AI-based solutions to help our communities. Our workers record sentences in their mother tongue on their smartphones. And for the simple task, we pay them nearly 20 times the Indian minimum wage. And that leads to a data set, so they keep on making royalties every single time those data sets are resold.
I think it is imperative that if we are changing someone's income structure in this way, that we also need to help them understand financial literacy.
आज सगळ्यांना आपल्याला आर्थिक साक्षरता शिकण्यासाठी मी इथे आहे आणि आपण हे कार्या ॲप मधून करणार आहोत.
रमेश आणि कल्पेश हे दोघेही रोजंदारीचे बांधकाम मजूर होते.
मी कधी ऐकलं नव्हतं माझा आवाज. कधीच ऐकला नव्हता की त्या कार्याकडनं मला त्या ॲपमुळं माझा आवाज कसा आहे हे मला माहीत पडलं आणि त्याच्यामधून शिकायला पण भेटलं बँकिंगचं याचं कर्ज कसं घ्यायचं ती कशी बचत करायची मुलांच्या नावावर FD कशा करायच्या हे खूप खूप शिकलो. आम्हाला आता कुणाची गरज नाही की ATM मध्ये जायचंय आणि पैसे त्यांनी काढून आणून द्यावेत असं नाही, आम्ही स्वतः करू शकतो.
Karya's platform is hosted on Azure. We use Azure Cognitive Services for our own AI-based validation work. And we're also using Azure OpenAI.
मला खूप आनंद वाटतो आणि मला खरंच गर्व वाटतो की माझा आवाज कुठेतरी कोणतरी ऐकणार आहे आणि मी मराठीत बोलले त्याच्यामुळे कोणीतरी शिकणार आहे. मला अभिमान वाटतो.
If you can solve it for India, you can solve it for the world.